Hightown. At the height of the Tevinter Imperium slave trade, Kirkwall's elite prospered beyond dreams. Hightown was built for the wealthiest slavers, its glitzy mansions rising atop a great wall of rock that borders on one side the waking sea. Lowtown cowered on its other side until Kirkwall slaves arose to plunder and destroy Hightown's riches. Today, Hightown's most prominent building is the Keep, home to the ruling Viscount. It is a converted estate that once housed wealthy magisters, rebuilt and converted after the uprising. Everyone who is anyone in Kirkwall lives in Hightown, and they give little thought to what goes on in Lowtown other than to complain when the wind drags up the stench from its boundaries and ancient mines. People in Hightown feel safe, not because the city's walls are impregnable, but because an invader would need to scale the stairs from Lowtown in order to reach them. Many bloody battles have been fought on these narrow stairs, and in several wars Hightown has held out for months after Lowtown was taken. The wealthy often forget, however, that those stairs are also their only escape. In the lowest alley of the district, several merchants peddle their wares. In a higher alley, the Dwarven Merchants Guild is headquartered, with one street leading to the Blooming Rose and the other to the Viscount's Keep. Although Hightown is a tranquil section of Kirkwall during the day, many gang operations surface during the night. Lowtown. Lowtown is one of the main districts in Kirkwall. Lowtown serves primarily as housing for the city's less wealthy residents, as well as the city's industrial center. In spite of this, it remains a source of major commerce, with markets lining the streets in Lowtown, peddling their wares to all who will pass. Lowtown sits in a massive cauldron-shaped pit that was once Kirkwall's first quarry. The district was constructed by slaves who carved the city and its harbor out of the rock. Today, Lowtown is a labyrinth of shantytowns, corridors, and hexagonal courtyards, or hexes in the local parlance. Lowtown's poorest living caves hewn out of the cliff face. The district is shoddily built and bears scars caused by collapsing walls. Foundry smoke smothers the area. Only a cold winter storm clears the air, but the icy wind howling over the mouths of old mine shafts hardly counts as relief. Occasionally, these Darktown shafts erupt with gouts of foul air known as choke damp. It is not uncommon to find whole slums silently suffocated, frozen in the midst of everyday activity. The walls surrounding Lowtown are highest by the harbor. Its busiest street leads up to Hightown, where the wealthiest Kirkwallers perch. When one stands in Lowtown, all one sees other than the rocky walls is Hightown. It glitters overhead, always in sight, yet always beyond reach. Darktown. An area of Kirkwall that is derelict and destitute, Darktown was once a mine controlled by the Tevinter Imperium. Once exhausted, the mine shafts were expanded under the city to depose the sewage from Kirkwall's overcrowded population of slaves. Unsurprisingly, the tunnels became a refuge for those fleeing captivity. A similar trend continues today. The Undercity, as some call it, is home to the diseased, the insane, to criminals, and even the dead. Unwanted corpses are often discarded here by murderers and lazy undertakers. Darktown's slums make Lowtown look pleasant in comparison. The foul miasma known as choke damp clogs and swells in every corner of Darktown, creating a poisonous mist. Its sewers are a dangerous place. The walls are damp, slick, and coated with phosphorescent lichen. The sewer is a maze, and one foolish enough to enter is not likely to be heard from again. Built in the underground and sewers of Kirkwall, many Ferelden refugees fled into Darktown in desperation after finding the gates of Kirkwall firmly shut due to the overflow of refugees fleeing the Fifth Blight. Darktown is a hive of crime, with many criminal bases there. This is due to the non-existence of guards in the sewers, due either to Darktown being an unrecognized district or purely because it is considered a lost cause. The Dwarven Carta had a strong presence in Darktown following their elimination in Orzammar during the Blight. Slavers also prowl Darktown, likely searching for easy prey too feeble to fight back. Disease is also widespread in Darktown, and its afflicted denizens either depend on the kindness of learned strangers to heal them, or simply wait as the disease spreads, lacking the funds to buy medicine. The Elven Alienage. Lowtown is home to a squalid Elven alienage. Here, like in most Thedas alienages, elves are packed into tiny rundown apartments and effectively segregated from the human population. Every night, the Kirkwall city guard closes a great iron gate at the entrance to the alienage. Yet, despite their poverty, the elves still take comfort in the fact that they are not as bad off as the residents of Darktown. Kirkwall's alienage is even more rundown than the rest of Lowtown, but the elves go to great lengths to keep the place looking bright and festive. The Vinadal, or Tree of the People, standing in the middle of the alienage, is a symbol for elven pride and shared cultural identity, and it is lovingly cared for. It is difficult to say if the elves would continue confining themselves to the alienage if they were given the chance to mingle. They may not admit it, but some feel that living among their kind is far better than living with humans, no matter how terrible alienage life may be. The Gallows. Statues of tortured slaves fill the gallows courtyard, a ghastly memento of Kirkwall's history. 1,500 years ago, Kirkwall was the Tevinter Imperium's largest quarry, feeding the construction of the Imperial Highway. The Imperium's hunger for expansion led to legions of slaves forced into working the quarry. When the Empire's construction phase ended, Kirkwall slid naturally into its new role as the capital of the slave trade, the gallows at its heart. The statues are not monuments to the suffering of slaves. Every inch and angle of the courtyard was designed by magisters bent on breaking the spirit of newcomers. Executions here took place daily, sometimes hourly, and corpses were hung from gibbets throughout the yard. New slaves trudging in from the docks saw what awaited them. When Andraste turned her armies against the Imperium, the slaves of Kirkwall revolted and claimed the city for themselves. The gallows stood empty for 200 years, not to be reopened until the crowning of Divine Justinia I. The gallows transformed the city again when the abandoned prison tower became the home of Kirkwall's Circle.